Once upon a time in Umukehi village in Umuahia, Abia State, Nigeria, my heart found its home through the most unexpected circumstances. As I stepped off the plane onto Nigerian soil for the first time, excitement pulsed through my veins. The warm air enveloped me, rich with the sense of spices and earth. My parents, Bishop Abina and Lady Eunice, walked ahead of me, beaming with pride. For as long as I could remember, Nigeria had been a place of stories, a distant land my parents spoke about with nostalgia. Now, I was finally here. The purpose of our journey was significant. My father was establishing a mega church in Umuahia. But for me, this trip meant more than just faith and ministry. It was an opportunity to connect with my roots. However, my enthusiasm was dimmed by my parents' warning about the Ekpe festival. It is steeped in fetish traditions, my father cautioned. Stay away, my child. But curiosity is a flame that refuses to be smothered. On the first night of the festival, the rhythmic drumming called to me. Ignoring my parents' warning, I slipped out into the night, drawn to the pulsating energy of the celebration. The dancers moved with hypnotic grace, their elaborate costumes concealing their identities. I was mesmerized, returning each night to watch. On the third night, a particular dancer caught my attention. Unlike the others, his movements were precise, almost poetic. I followed him as he broke away from the crowd, seeking solace beneath an ancient Iroko tree. My heart pounded as he removed his mask, revealing a face that stole my breath. He was strikingly handsome, his skin glistening under the moonlight. He sensed my presence and turned sharply, quickly attempting to replace his mask. But I had already seen him. Fear overtook me, and I ran. Days later, at the church construction site, fate brought him to me once more. As he approached, my heart raced. "How did you find me?" I asked, breathless. "I am a spirit," he teased, a smirk playing on his lips. "You seeing me that night was a violation of the sacred masquerade." I laughed. "So, have you come to flog me?" He chuckled. "No, I just wanted to see the bold girl who dared to follow a spirit." His name was Obiora. We talked for hours, and I learned about his struggles. A university graduate, he had been unable to secure a job in the city, and had returned to his village to farm and uphold the traditions of the Ekpe festival. Our bond deepened, and soon we were in love. When I told my parents about Obiora, my father's reaction was swift and harsh. "He is steeped in ungodly traditions," he thundered. "You must stay away from him." But I stood my ground. I love him. Desperate to be together, Obiora and I planned to elope. But the night before, he did something I never expected. He went to my father. "I come in peace," Obiora said, facing my father's hardened glare. Then he spoke words that shook my father to his core. "When you were my age, you were an Ekpe dancer too. The community raised money through this tradition to send you abroad. But now you condemn the very thing that shaped your future." Silence stretched between them as my father's past rushed back like a flood. He had indeed danced in the Ekpe festival before fate took him to Nottingham. Had he truly forgotten where he came from? The next morning, Obiora returned me to my parents. "Our love was never meant to be," he said, his voice heavy with sorrow. He walked away, leaving my heart in shambles. Days passed, and despair consumed me. I withdrew, speaking little, my spirit crushed. My mother tried to console me, but nothing lifted my gloom. Even my father, despite his firm stance, could not ignore my suffering. One evening, I overheard him confide in my mother. Maybe I was too harsh. what if she is right? She is in love, my mother said softly. Perhaps we should listen to her heart. My father sighed, lost in thought. He had spent years condemning what he once embraced. But was he right to do so? A week later, he sent for Obiora. When he arrived, my father surprised us all. Sit, he said. Tell me about yourself. Obiora hesitated, then spoke. He shared his struggles, his dreams, and his love for me. His words were honest, carrying the weight of his sincerity. My father listened, truly listened. For the first time, when Obiora finished, there was silence. Then my father said, "You are a good man. I see that now." Days later, my father called me to him. "My child, love should not be caged by fear. I was wrong to judge so quickly. If Obiora is who you choose, then I will not stand in your way." Tears of joy filled my eyes as I embraced him. "Thank you, Papa." With my parents' blessing, Obiora and I made new plans. Not to elope, but to journey together, supported by our families. My father used his influence to help Obiora secure a scholarship to further his studies in the UK. The young man, once bound by circumstances, now had a future filled with endless possibilities. The day of our departure arrived. The entire village gathered to bid us farewell. Obiora's fellow dancers performed one last time, their vibrant energy filling the air. This time, my father did not look away. Instead, he watched with a newfound respect, seeing not just a festival, but a heritage worth preserving. Our journey had only just begun, but one thing was certain: love, when true, always finds its way home.